everybody. Nicholas Snow here with the Notes from Hollywood on the PromoHomo.TV network. In this show, I report and profile people passionately pursuing professions in the entertainment industry. Say that 3 times fast. So this show is going out on Friday, July 10th, and you're in luck if you're seeing it anytime in about the next month because Electricity, the play, will be streaming weekly for 3 exclusive live performances available worldwide beginning July 16th. And I have already purchased my ticket for that particular performance. So that's what's coming up on today's particular episode. And I want to just tell you a little bit more about the play. So, on today's show, I'll have co-star Terry Ray and co-star Mel England. Terry also wrote the play to discuss the upcoming live streamed performances of the off-Broadway-bound Electricity. While Broadway's lights are dim, audiences around the world can purchase tickets and experience live theater from the comfort of their own homes. That works for me. I'm actually going to stream from my device and throw it to my 65-inch TV. So that's my plans. So about the play, 4 decades, 2 men, one highly charged love story. Electricity, the deliciously hilarious, heartbreaking, and romantic love story between Brad and Gary, has delighted audiences across the country. Terry Ray's riveting story unfolds over 4 decades, and Brad and Gary's epic journey will stick with you long after the evening is over. The person that you can't get out of your head truly might be the person you're meant to be with. The play asks that question. So one of the things that I'm excited about is that this play actually was designed to perform. You know what? We're going to find out what the original intent is, but the play has been performed in its entirety in a hotel room in Palm Springs, California, weekly for years prior to the pandemic. I've also seen it performed on stage. It's fascinating the way that it all happens, and we're going to learn more from the playwrights after this. If you're watching live, you can comment in your social media feed underneath the video, and I can curate your comments and put them online. But if you're watching this anytime in the month of July 2020, please share it so the play can have more publicity for Electricity. And without further ado, let me bring to the show Mel England and Terry Ray. You can see them, and their names are under their faces. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Nicholas.
Hi.
Excited to be here in my living room.
Yes, in your living room, which is not where the play is going to be performed. But tell me, Terry, was the show conceived to be performed in a hotel room, or was that sort of a new idea that happened along the run?
No, it was written as a regular play, and we premiered it in Los Angeles in a theater that ran for 11 weeks, which was great for LA. But then it was over, and I was like, I don't want it to be over. And I thought about wouldn't it be cool to try it in a hotel room, since the entire play takes place in the same hotel room over 4 decades. So it leads itself to actually be in that immersive environment. And then we tried it out at Indulge and here in Palm Springs. With Mel came with me. He joined the cast for that, and we love doing it in the hotel room. It's so intimate and fun. It's like being a little fly on the wall because we act all around you. And then at the same time, we're doing it in theaters too across the country. So it's a little bit of a juggling act to remember. It's a little different each time. So it's exciting for us to do it both ways. It's super intimate in the hotel room, and then in theater, it's lovely because you have this nice big audience. So we love it both ways.
It's rather voyeuristic to be sitting there in the hotel room. I think I saw it twice in the hotel room and once on the stage. But
we can. It's a hotel room. It's a gay resort. There's more nudity in the hotel room, but that's just part of the play. It's not gratuitous because
he pointed at me in the nudity part.
Well, yeah,
he's naked too.
Barely.
Hotel room.
I need, you know what? I need to see it again because I'm just not remembering the details like I need to. So, Terry, had you seen the play when you? Mel, excuse me. Had you seen the play when you were joined the cast? Had you seen it?
Yeah. Hi, Nicholas. It's great to see you. I had seen the play. I saw it in Los Angeles when it originally ran. Years ago now.
4 now.
Oh gosh. And so I just loved the play, and I never anticipated that I would be in the play. I just sort of abducted Terry afterwards and like grabbed him and could not stop holding him, and it was like, this is so amazing, and you just told our story, you just told my story, and I was just so excited about the play. So when Terry called me about, I don't know, a year and a half later and asked me if I wanted to audition for Palm Springs because Kevin Scott Allen, who was the original Brad, could not come to Palm Springs, I was like, yeah, sure. So I was very happy.
And it was weird for me because here I'm going to do a play in a hotel room, and I'm like, I can't really like just ask strangers to come audition for a play in my own bedroom, which was where we were going to rehearse, and go, let's just make out. It was like, I have to have somebody who doesn't think I'm a pervert, but I still got Mel anyway.
Well, it brings a whole new meaning to Casting Couch.
It really does, yeah. But that part, oddly enough, I understood what Terry was trying to do, and also anyway, if I hadn't known Terry, that might have been something that was a little more askance. Mm-hmm. So, interestingly enough, the timing was perfect, and I had seen the play, so I knew he was legit. So anyway.
Well, one of the things that fascinates me is the fact that you're live streaming in a 4-camera shoot. Now you're going to be broadcasting in an empty theater. We're not going to tell people where.
Right.
But you'll be broadcasting in an empty theater, but you're broadcasting in a 4-camera shoot online, live. That would petrify me because of all of the technical things that could happen. So how, whichever of you is most qualified to talk about how you're approaching the production technically, I'd love to hear more about it.
I'm just going to say one quick correction. And that's my fault. There's actually 3 cameras that give us 6 different shots to choose from. And all of this comes from Mel's techniques and skills. So go ahead.
Well, you know what? Actually, it's just the wonders of the internet. Just like you're able to do this now. We actually, it's so funny because at the end of the night last night, we put all the equipment together in a bag, and there's a laptop, and it's amazing that that's a TV studio now. So there's just to your question though, there is an element that things could go wrong, and it will be live. But doing live theater, you're used to that. There's always going to be something that could happen. So we do have backups. We have backup cameras. We have backup. And
we've been doing a lot of testing.
Yeah.
A lot of trials and making sure.
Yeah.
We're not going to disappoint y'all.
No.
Buy a ticket, you will see the show.
I did. I bought a ticket. I didn't even ask for a media comp because I want to support the arts.
It's nice. Yeah,
Sweet.
thank you.
And now a portion of your ticket is benefiting the Matthew Shepard Foundation.
Yeah.
They're partnering with us for July 16th.
We're really excited about that. And every performance, we're going to partner with a different LGBTQ organization. And but Matthew Shepard Foundation, there is just, I don't know. I'm speechless.
It makes
when
me a little
I
like,
know. It's really kind of amazing because, Judy Shepard has been such a champion obviously for LGBTQ people, and using Matthew's story to help end hate, really, and increase awareness and understanding. And I think that's exactly the message of the play.
It is. And plus, it's sort of a connection with theater because they were so involved with the Laramie Project.
Right.
And here's this other, work that does talk about the struggles of gay life. So it's oddly connected in that way through the involvement of theater that they've done in the past.
Yeah.
I'm just really thrilled that you have that collaboration with the Matthew Shepard Foundation, and whose life, whether they know it or not, has not been touched by the murder of Matthew Shepard and what happened next. Your show is very powerful, and it revisits themes that haven't really got a lot of modern treatment in theater. For example, HIV and AIDS is one of the themes, and your play is fairly new, taking on that subject matter, Terry. 20 years ago, we saw a lot of theater around that. And I think of the little engine that could, because you started it. Was it the Fringe Festival, the LA Fringe Festival?
Actually, that was second. We started off in a little theater in the Valley in LA. We did that run, which got extended to a total of 11 weeks. And then we did the Fringe Festival because people were loving the play, and I just didn't want it to be over. I'm so proud of this story. I'm more proud of this than anything I've done. So I just keep finding ways to keep it going, and it has a life. It's just keeps going. Just even yesterday, a theater contacted me and said, "Can we read the script? We're really interested in doing it." So it's lovely that the story is getting out there because it's a journey. It's to me, it's not an AIDS play.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
It deals with all the things that we've had to deal with, and certainly AIDS is one of the things we've had to deal with. And I feel like it's a little bit unique in that way, is that that's part of this collective journey, and it's not just focusing on one thing. It's just kind of dealing with our lifespan. And I wanted to do that on purpose.
Well, I personally think it works. One of the things I wanted to mention, though, is that you got increasing interest in your play, especially from the New York theater community. I think you've been there 3 or 4 different times,
7 or 8,
at least 7 or 8, to do performances for investors, and we're definitely off Broadway bound before the pandemic. So, speak to sort of the evolution of the interest in your work and this particular piece of work.
Mel is a new half. He's bi locational wise. He's New York and LA. So he has this New York connection, which is really the stepping stone for this all to happen, because he has an apartment in New York. So when we go to New York, there's a place for us to stay. But you go ahead and handle that.
Well, I mean, actually, Nicholas, when we first started doing the play in Palm Springs, the very first weekend, I had some friends that were visiting, because Palm Springs is a huge New York Palm Springs connection, right? There's lots of people here. So I just happened to have some friends that were here from out of town, and they have a house here, and they came, straight couple, and they were like, "Oh my God, we love this play. It's not even a gay play. It's a play for everybody, and you should bring this to New York." And then another set of New Yorkers did that, and another set of, like, every time New Yorkers came, they responded to the play. And being an old New Yorker, like, I know, like, they don't like BS you, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, we should think about that. So we started talking, and then finally, when we did go to New York, I called up a few of my producers. I'd had worked with Sue Vaccaro on previous film, Neil Rubenstein.
Sue Vaccaro's won Tony Award.
Yeah, and you know, there's a bunch of. It's so funny because once you get one Broadway producer sort of in your realm, then like they travel in packs like wolves. And so like we literally, the very first time we were there, we had 4 Broadway producers there, and they were all interested. And that's when I knew, okay, we've got something here. And so it's worth it for us to start that engine, you know, of raising the money. And we were on our way, and then COVID-19 happened.
Right. We're still on our way.
We're still on our way. And oddly enough, I'll just say this, it's funny because somebody initially, right when the pandemic, you know, shut us down and we had to stop our performances in Palm Springs, we had that event with Lonnie Anderson planned where we were going to do a fundraiser with Lonnie, which was kind of amazing. We had to cancel all that. And I had a friend call me up and, oh my gosh, you must be so disappointed. And I said, to be honest, I am just so glad we weren't like in rehearsals or about to open or hadn't just opened. I have friends that were in shows in New York, you know, Drew Droege, I mean, other people in Broadway shows that literally like had to pack their bags in 2 days, and it was really devastating.
Right.
So we were actually lucky in that way.
I loved, Terry, the way that you whispered Sue Vaccaro won a Tony, as if there was no one going to hear that.
Winners, I always whisper the award, for sure.
And I am listening to both of you very intently, but this question popped into my mind, and I realized that if it popped into my mind, it popping into my audience's mind as well. And Terry, I'm wondering if you could tell me about the painting behind you of the guitar player.
Oh, okay, here. Can you see it?
We can see it, yes.
That's a great story. So real quickly, in the 1920s and 30s during the Depression era, early 30s, there was a group of brothers that were artists in Long Beach, and they were so poor that it was cheaper for the movie theaters to hire these 3 brothers to do their movie posters on cardboard than it was to go to a printer. So these 3 brothers painted a bunch of movie posters for this movie theater in Long Beach. They didn't think it was art. They just recycled the cardboard because the cardboard was valuable to them, and they would paint over it and paint on the back side. But one brother saved a few of his favorite ones, put them in his garage. There was a flood. Most of them got damaged. But then there was in the 80s, whoever, after he died, cleaned out the garage. They had at Bonhams and Butterfield's this auction of his stuff, and it was amazing. And I got a few that fell through the crack because I don't have money to buy real ones. But I have like 5 of them, and I love them.
Well, I found myself fascinated by the scenery.
And you see that if I didn't have like I had my COVID-19 like sort of shaved my hair, but on top of it, my hair would actually look exactly like his if it just kept growing. Like, anyway.
Oh, I love that. What would you guys like? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said mine looks just like him too, in the right light. Like no light.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering what you would like to say in conclusion in the home stretch of our interview that we might not have gotten to, or that you'd like to repeat about the play and the upcoming 3 live streams.
Well, I just want to. I'll start. I just want to say that it's a very fun play to watch. I mean, we're talking about serious themes, but it's also a comedy. You'll laugh, and it's also romantic, and it's also powerful. And theater has taken a gigantic hit, and they're all closed, and we're all suffering. All jobs are ended. So this is a way for us to feel like, how can we rise from the ashes? We are socially distancing together. We took a COVID test. We're both negative. So now we're living together for a time before the play starts. So we're doing everything careful. We can do this. It's a 2-person play. So we're able to do that. And we just want the public to take this chance to support the arts and see something that they're going to really enjoy. And it'll uplift you, and it'll uplift theater. Give us something to go to while the theaters are closed. And before I pass it on, electricitytheplay.com is how you get your $12 ticket.
Yes, and I have been putting it on screen throughout the show. Mel, what would you like to add?
Well, the main thing we actually oddly didn't really talk for anybody who doesn't know about the play. Just about the story, and the play really follows the journey of these two guys who were in high school together, and they meet up at their 10-year high school reunion and sort of hook up, have a little electricity between them.
Well, one is so closeted he's invented a wife to go back to the reunion because he's been bullied in high school, and the other one is gone to New York and falls out
the crazy life. I actually lived in New York, so in many ways that's why I related to the play so much. I really identified with the journey of these characters, and you watch them go from their first high school reunion through the next several, and it follows the journey of the story that we all took, those of us of a certain generation, from the closet to equality, and what it took for us to say, you know what, we're going to take up our space. We deserve to be here. We deserve to be equal. Terry's play is so powerful that way. And that's, to your point earlier, Nicholas, when you said there haven't been a lot of plays that, yes, we've had AIDS plays, but those were plays in that moment, at that time. And what's wild about Terry's play is that it's able to look at it in the moments of those times, but it's still a history play. And so because it's looking back, it's got that perspective that allows us to really digest, wow, this happened to us.
I wish I had said that, because that's really what I was thinking when I wanted to reference the fact that there is the subject matter of HIV and AIDS in part of the play, but it's about so much more.
Well,
and
sorry, I was just going to add, we're still all in a kind of collective PTSD, I always say, from the experience of growing up in a kind of sheltered, closeted world. And, I always, slaves, they liberated the slaves. And then you think, well, great, they were free. But it took some time. It's taken all of this time. And there's still black people are still fighting for equality and justice. We're still in that early stage, and we can't even see it. And that's what's so beautiful about Terry's play. Is it allows us to look at the perspective.
It's just sort of a story about learning to love yourself, and that sometimes can take a long time.
I love myself on a daily basis.
Okay, then. Well, it took me a long time to overcome the damage to my self-esteem and psyche because of a life of a child and young adulthood filled with bullying and anything that in the world that helps people love themselves more, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I want to thank you both for taking the time to be on the show today on the all-new Notes from Hollywood on the all-new PromoHomo.TV.
Yay! We're thrilled to be here.
So I have been giving out this information throughout, but I'm going to give it out again. So our audience that was watching live was shy today, so they weren't making comments for me to import into the screen. But there you can see it. You can go to electricitytheplay.com for tickets to the 3 performances, July 16th, July 23rd, and July 30th. I believe those are all at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern.
And if you're on Bora Bora Island, you have to figure out the time yourself. But you can watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being on the show today. It's been my pleasure, and I look forward to seeing the show myself as part of your live worldwide audience on the first performance, July 16th.
Thank you for your support, Nicholas.
Yeah,
you've been amazing the whole time we've been journeying with this play.
And I look forward to seeing you in person when we can do that again.
That would be nice, and hopefully we can be closer than 6 feet. I can't remember the last time I had a decent hug.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I'm hugging you right now.
I know.
Yeah, I should find people to come over to quarantine in a different room for 2 weeks, and then who knows what will happen. Listen, thank you guys. Hey, you can stick around and I can talk to you right after the show in just a minute. For those of you who have been watching, I'm very honored that Mel and Terry took the time to be on the show today. As always, I'm honored to you for watching. I encourage you to continue to watch and share episodes of the shows that I'm producing here on PromoHomo.TV. And to pitch guests, you just go to the website, PromoHomo.TV, and look into the About section. And I will see you next time. Hello, I'm trying to play my closing role right here.